So yesterday we started talking about the body and how the body, the nature of the body is the nature of suffering or dukkha. Its cause is also from dukkha or suffering, and its result is as well. So yesterday we talked about the cause. Today we're going to talk about the nature of the body. I actually should have done this first and done the cause second, but oh well. So the nature of the body is, as we've seen in our class about mindfulness of the body, when you open the body up and look at the contents of it, it's not so gorgeous. In fact, some people even faint when they see the inside of the body. Even they see a little bit of blood, forget the internal organs, they see some blood and they faint. But if you really look at the inside of the body, and that's what we're walking around with all day, is, you know, livers and intestines and lungs and all this kind of stuff. And that's what we're so attached to. That's what's so incredible to me, you know, is how skewed our wrong conception mind is, that it's so attached to this thing, you know. So the body by its own nature is not so gorgeous. And then in addition, it gets born, it gets sick, it gets old, and it dies. So we usually think birth is a great thing. And in one way, you know, having a precious human life, if you're in samsara, it is a wonderful thing. But better yet would be not to have a birth in samsara. You know, it's like if you're in prison, having a nice cell is great, but it would be better not to be in prison. Yeah. So in the same way here, you know, once we're born, then aging, sickness, and death automatically follow. There's no way around them. So wanting birth but not wanting aging, sickness, and death is totally contradictory. Yeah, it doesn't work that way. So to just bear in mind, once there's birth in samsara, aging, sickness, and death follow natural. Okay, aging is not our favorite thing to do. As we age year by year, we see the body getting weaker, and especially you get more wrinkles and more gray hair and less energy and a little bit of flab, and you know, the body doesn't work so well, and the mind becomes more forgetful. What was I talking about? You know, and you walk into a room, and I knew I was coming here for a reason. What was it? You know, and this starts happening when you're a teenager, you know, so you can see aging starts young, you know, it starts the moment after birth. And then, of course, sickness comes, which again isn't our favorite thing to do. And, you know, we get colds and flus, but we also get things that are much more serious. And then the body gets injured, and it's painful. And I mean, even you try and sit in meditation, you can never find a comfortable position. You know, you have a square cushion, you have a round cushion, you have a hard cushion, you have a soft cushion, you have a low cushion, you have a high cushion, you sit on a bench, you sit on a chair, you sit on a chair without a back, you sit on a chair with a back. You sit cross-legged in regular position, then you sit in Tara's position, then you sit in half Vajra position, then you sit in full Vajra position, then you put cushions under your knees. Whatever you do, the body is not comfortable. Okay? True, isn't it? Whatever you do. Okay? And then the body gets injured, you know. I mean, we scratch ourselves and, you know, little owies, and we make a big deal about them, let alone when we have big owies, like you break a leg or something like that. The body really can be quite a nuisance sometimes. Yeah. And then at the end of the day, you know, we take such good care of this body. We're pampering it all the time. We worry about it. It has to eat. It has to sleep. It has to rest. has to go to the bathroom, it has to get cleaned up. We spend so much time taking care of this body. And then what does it do at the end of the day? It dies on us. You know, I mean, what gratitude. If you had a friend who you pampered and took care of, and then it died, you know, they did something terrible, you wouldn't be very happy. But look at this body, we remain so attached to it, even though it just dies on us at the end and completely betrays us, even though we've pampered it so much. So I think, you know, when we become aware of this kind of stuff, then we see that the body really is in the nature of dukkha, or suffering. It's in the nature of being unsatisfactory. And when we see that very clearly, then we give up the attachment to the body. Yeah? When we see the disadvantages of the body, and then we try and tweak our samsara to make the body more comfortable, we're still operating under strong attachment to the body, and that's when we get really hung up, because we can never get the body comfortable. But when we use our aching, painful body, you know, to renounce rebirth in cyclic existence and give up attachment to the body, then the body can become a helpful vehicle for getting out of samsara.